Daniel never remembered turning onto that road. One moment, he was driving along a familiar highway, the soft glow of streetlights guiding his way home. The radio hummed quietly in the background, playing a song he half recognized. Everything felt normal, safe. Then the fog came. It rolled in too quickly, not drifting, not creeping, but swallowing. Thick, heavy, unnatural. Within seconds, the road ahead disappeared, then the mirrors, then even the edges of his own car. Daniel slowed down. Okay, that's not normal, he muttered. The GPS flickered. Recalculating. Then the screen went black. The radio died with a sharp crack of static. Silence. Daniel's grip tightened on the steering wheel. He should turn back. That was the logical choice. But when he looked in the rearview mirror, there was no road behind him, only fog. Endless, suffocating fog. His pulse quickened. "This isn't real," he whispered. And yet, the car kept moving forward. The tires hummed softly against the asphalt, the only proof that there was still something beneath him. The world outside had vanished, replaced by a blank, shifting white. Then, a shape, faint at first, a darker shadow within the fog. Daniel leaned forward, squinting. A sign. He drove closer. The letters were barely visible, scratched into rusted metal. "Welcome back." A cold wave ran through him. "Back?" he said out loud. "I've never been here." The moment he passed the sign, the fog lifted, not gradually, instantly, like a curtain being torn away. Daniel slammed the brakes. He was no longer on a highway. The road was narrow now, cracked, twisting through a forest of tall skeletal trees. Their branches stretched overhead like reaching fingers, blocking out the sky. No, this isn't right. He grabbed his phone. No signal. Of course. The battery showed 47%, then 12%, then 3%, and then dead. Great, Daniel exhaled shakily. He looked ahead. The road continued, disappearing into darkness. Behind him, still no road, just fog, thicker now, watching, waiting. He had only one choice: forward. The deeper he drove, the quieter the world became. No wind, no animals, not even the sound of his own engine seemed real anymore. Then he noticed something strange. The trees. They were too close, too still, and some of them looked wrong. Daniel slowed the car again. One of the trees stood slightly apart from the others, thinner, bent. Its branches hung too low, like arms, and its trunk had a face. Daniel blinked hard. It was gone. Just a tree. "Get a grip," he whispered. But now he couldn't stop seeing them. Shapes that almost looked human. Figures frozen between trees. Watching. Not moving. Never moving. But always there. The road curved sharply, and then he saw it. A house. Standing alone at the end of the road. Tall. Crooked. Waiting. Daniel's car slowed on its own. He didn't remember taking his foot off the gas. The engine died. The headlights flickered once, then went out. Darkness swallowed everything. For a long moment, Daniel didn't move. Then a soft glow appeared. Inside the house, one window, second floor. A light turned on, and something moved behind it. Not walking, not human, just shifting. Daniel felt something cold slide down his spine. Then his phone vibrated. He looked at it. The screen was on. Battery. 1% A message. Unknown sender. "You made it." Another message appeared. "Go inside." Daniel stared at the house. The front door creaked open. By itself. Daniel didn't want to move. Every instinct screamed at him to stay in the car, lock the doors, and wait for morning. If morning even existed in this place. But something felt wrong. Not outside. Inside. The car. The air had changed. It was colder now. Not just cold. Empty. Like the warmth had been pulled out of it, leaving behind something hollow. Daniel exhaled. He couldn't see his breath. That was worse. Slowly he reached for the door handle. "Just check," he whispered to himself. "Just look inside. Then leave." The moment his fingers touched the handle, click, the door unlocked by itself. Daniel froze. "I didn't—" Click. The passenger door unlocked. Then the back doors, one by one. Click, click, click. His heart pounded in his ears. Okay. No. 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 Then a soft sound. From the back seat, fabric shifting, weight moving. Daniel didn't turn around. He couldn't. Something was sitting behind him. He knew it. Not because he saw it, because the car felt different, heavier, occupied. The slow breath, not his. Right behind his neck. Daniel moved. Fast. He threw the door open and stumbled out of the car, gasping for air. The night hit him like ice. But at least he was alone. He turned back. The car sat still, dark, empty. The back seat, nothing there. Daniel swallowed hard. I'm losing it. Then the headlights flickered. Once, twice. And for a split second, something was inside. A shape, tall, bent forward, watching him from the back seat. The lights died again. Daniel didn't wait. He ran. Straight toward the house. The front door stood wide open now, as if welcoming him, or expecting him. The closer he got, the more details he noticed. The wood was old, cracked, almost soft, like it might give way if touched too hard. The frame leaned slightly to one side, and the darkness inside. It wasn't just the absence of light. It felt deep, layered, like something lived in it. Daniel stopped at the threshold. Just one step, he said under his breath. Just one. Behind him, the car door slammed shut. Hard. Daniel flinched and spun around. The car was gone, not faded, not hidden. Gone, like it had never been there. Only the road remained. And the fog, closer now, creeping back. He had no choice. Daniel turned and stepped inside. The moment his foot crossed the threshold, the door slammed behind him. The sound echoed through the house, loud, too loud, like it traveled farther than it should. Daniel grabbed the handle, pulled. It didn't move. Locked. Of course. He pressed his forehead against the wood. Okay. Think. Then a sound. Soft. Somewhere deeper in the house. A clock. Ticking. Slow. Uneven. Tick. 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 Daniel turned. The hallway stretched ahead of him, longer than the house should allow. The walls were lined with old wallpaper, peeling in long strips. And the pictures. Dozens of them. Portraits. Every single one scratched out. Faces destroyed. Eyes gone. As if someone didn't want them to see, or didn't want to be seen by them. Daniel stepped forward carefully. The floor creaked under his weight, each step echoing too much. Too deep. The ticking grew louder, pulling him forward, guiding him. At the end of the hallway, a door slightly open, and on it, a number. Daniel stopped. The air here felt thicker, harder to breathe. His chest tightened. From inside the room, something moved, a faint scrape. Then silence. Daniel reached out. His hand trembled, and slowly. He pushed the door open. The door opened without resistance. That was the first thing Daniel noticed. Not the darkness, not the smell, but how easily the door gave way, like it had been waiting for him. Inside, the room was dimly lit by a weak yellow bulb hanging from the ceiling. It swayed slightly, though there was no wind. Daniel stepped in. The air felt used, like someone had been breathing it for a long time. Too long. He looked around. A bed, a wooden chair, a small table, and on the wall, a clock. Tick, tick, tick. The same uneven rhythm, louder now, closer. Daniel swallowed. This is fine, he whispered, though his voice didn't sound like his own. The door creaked behind him. Then, click, locked. He spun around and grabbed the handle, pulled. Nothing. Of course, he muttered. Slowly he turned back to the room. Something felt off, not wrong, different, the layout, the space. It didn't match what he had seen from outside. The room was bigger, much bigger. The walls stretched farther than they should. The corners seemed too far away, like the room was expanding when he wasn't looking directly at it. Daniel took a step forward. The floor creaked, loud, too loud. He turned toward the bed. The sheets were neatly arranged, untouched, except a dent in the center, as if someone had been sitting there moments ago, watching the door, waiting. Daniel took a step back. Nope. He moved to the chair instead. It faced the bed, perfectly aligned, as if whoever sat there had been staring at that exact spot. For how long? He didn't want to know. Then the clock stopped. Silence. Complete. Heavy. Daniel slowly lifted his head. The second hand wasn't moving. The time read 11:59. Again. No. No. That already happened. His breath quickened. This isn't possible. Then, tick. The clock moved. Midnight. The bulb above him flickered once, twice, then steadied. And that's when he heard it. A sound. From under the bed. A soft, dragging noise. Daniel froze. No! Another sound. Closer, like fingers slowly scraping against wood from beneath the mattress. Something was under there, waiting, listening. Daniel stepped back. But his foot hit something, the table. It hadn't been that close before, had it? He turned. The room felt smaller now, the walls closer, the corners tighter, the air heavier. The dragging sound stopped. Silence again. Then a whisper, right beneath him. Daniel. His blood ran cold. It knew his name. Look at me. He shook his head violently. No, no, I'm not doing that. A slow laugh echoed from under the bed. Wet, broken, not human. The bed creaked, as if something shifted beneath it. Then a hand slid out. From the darkness under the bed, pale, too thin. The fingers bent the wrong way, gripping the floor, pulling. Another hand followed, then an arm, too long, too jointed. Daniel stumbled back toward the door. Stay back! The thing stopped, halfway out. Its fingers twitched, then slowly it began to crawl back under the bed, disappearing, piece by piece, until only darkness remained. Silence returned. The clock resumed. Tick, tick. Daniel stood frozen, heart racing, sweat cold on his skin. Then a new sound. Behind him, the chair, creaking, slowly turning. Daniel didn't want to look, but he did, and his breath stopped. Someone was sitting in the chair, facing him, a figure, still, silent, its head tilted slightly, and though its face was hidden in shadow, Daniel knew it had always been there, watching him. Daniel couldn't breathe. The figure in the chair didn't move, didn't blink, didn't make a sound, but it was there, and it was looking at him. Not just at him, through him, like it had always known him, like it had been waiting for him. Who are you? Daniel whispered. The words felt wrong in his mouth, too loud, too fragile. The figure tilted its head slightly, a slow, unnatural motion. Then it spoke. I was you. Daniel's chest tightened. No, no, that's not possible. The figure leaned forward. The light flickered. For a split second, Daniel saw its face, and his world shattered. It was him, not exactly, but close enough. Same eyes, same shape, but wrong. The skin was pale, too tight, stretched like it didn't fit, and the smile, too wide, too deep, cut into the face like it had been carved there. I waited, it said softly, for so long. Daniel shook his head, backing toward the wall. This isn't real. This is some kind of a loop. The thing finished his sentence. Yes? The room shifted. The walls seemed closer now, the ceiling lower, the air heavier. You came here before, the thing continued. You always do. Daniel's heart pounded. No, I've never... Don't lie. The voice changed, sharper now, colder. The clock ticked faster. Tick, tick, tick. You always forget. The thing stood up, slowly. Its body moved like it wasn't used to existing, joints bending slightly out of place. You always walk in. Step. You always hear the knocking. Step. You always try to leave. Step. Daniel pressed himself against the wall. There was no knocking yet. The thing smiled wider. Not yet. Silence fell, heavy, expectant. Then a knock from the door, soft, slow. Daniel's stomach dropped. "No!" Another knock. "Daniel!" The voice from the other side. Familiar. Too familiar. His mother. Again. Tears filled his eyes. "Stop," he whispered. The thing in front of him leaned closer. "You opened it last time." The knocking grew louder. "Daniel, please!" The voice trembled. "I'm cold." Daniel covered his ears. "No! No! No!" "You let it in," the thing whispered. "And then—" The knocking turned violent. Bang! 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 "Open the door!" Daniel screamed. "Stop!" Silence. Instant. The knocking ceased. The voice disappeared. Only the clock remained. Tick! Tick! Daniel slowly lowered his hands. His entire body shook. I wouldn't... The thing stepped even closer, now just inches away. "You did." Its voice softened again, almost gentle. "You always do." Daniel stared into its face, into his own reflection, distorted, broken. "Why?" he asked, barely able to speak. "Why does this happen?" The thing's smile faded. For the first time, it looked almost sad. "Because you left." Daniel froze. "What?" The air grew colder. The walls darkened. "And I stayed." A long silence followed. Then the clock stopped. Again. 11:59. The thing stepped back, returning to the chair, sitting down, perfectly still, like before. "Now," it said quietly. "We wait." Daniel's chest tightened. "For what?" The light flickered. Once. Twice. Darkness crept into the corners of the room. And then, from somewhere inside the walls, something began to crawl again. At first Daniel thought it was his imagination, a trick of fear, a side effect of everything he had seen. But then the walls moved. Not much. Just enough. A slow, almost invisible pulse, in and out, like something inside them was breathing. Daniel pressed himself against the corner, trying to stay as far away as possible. "Do you see that?" he whispered. The figure in the chair didn't answer, didn't move. It just sat there, watching, waiting. The ticking of the clock returned. But now it wasn't alone. Another sound joined it, a wet, dragging rhythm from inside the walls. Step, drag, step. Daniel's stomach twisted. "It's coming," the thing in the chair said quietly. Daniel snapped his head toward it. "What is?" The figure tilted its head again. Slowly, deliberately. "You already know." "No, I don't." His voice cracked, too loud. The walls pulsed again, stronger this time. The wallpaper stretched slightly, then snapped back into place. Daniel stared in horror. "No, no, that's not possible." A shape formed beneath the surface, like something pressing outward from inside. A face, for just a second, then gone. Daniel stumbled back. The floor felt softer now, not solid, not safe. "Why is this happening?" he demanded. The thing finally stood again. "You let it learn you." Daniel froze. "What does that even mean?" The figure took a step closer. "You listened." Step. You hesitated. Step. You almost opened the door. Step. And that was enough. The sound inside the walls grew louder, closer. Now it wasn't just one. There were many, moving, crawling, surrounding the room. Daniel turned in circles. "It's everywhere." "Yes," the thing said, "because it doesn't need the door anymore." A long crack appeared on the wall beside the bed, thin at first, then spreading, splitting the wallpaper apart. Daniel backed away. "No, keep it closed. Keep it closed." The crack widened, and something inside it moved, a finger, then another, forcing their way through the opening, long, jointed, wrong. They pushed against the edges, widening the crack, tearing it open. The wall made a wet sound, like skin ripping. Daniel gagged. "That's not a wall." "No," the thing said softly. "It hasn't been for a long time." The hand forced its way out further, then an arm, then an eye. It opened slowly within the crack, looking directly at Daniel, unblinking, hungry. Daniel screamed and grabbed the chair, throwing it at the wall. The eye vanished. The crack snapped shut. Silence. Heavy. Dead. Daniel panted, his whole body shaking. "I stopped it." The thing shook its head slowly. No. The clock ticked again. Tick. 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 Then another crack appeared, behind him. Then another, and another. The walls were splitting, all around him, tiny openings forming like wounds, and from each one something watched. Eyes, dozens of them, opening, blinking, focusing on him. Daniel backed into the center of the room. No, 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 no. "They're learning faster now," the thing said. "Learning what?" The figure smiled again, that horrible stretched smile. "How to become you." The eyes blinked in unison. The room pulsed, the air thickened, and then all the eyes closed at once. Darkness filled the cracks. Silence returned. Too sudden, too complete. Daniel stood frozen, waiting, listening. And then, from directly behind him, a voice, his voice. "Daniel." Daniel didn't turn round. He couldn't. His body refused. Every instinct screamed the same thing. Don't look. But the voice, it was perfect. Not similar. Not close. Exact. "It's Daniel." It came again, right behind him, breathing in sync with him, matching his rhythm, his fear. The thing in the chair spoke quietly. It learned faster this time. Daniel's lips trembled. "What is it doing?" A pause, then becoming. The floor creaked. A step behind him, then another, slow, measured, like it was learning how to walk. Daniel squeezed his eyes shut. This isn't real. Another step. Closer. He could feel it now. Heat. Breath. Presence. Like standing in front of a mirror, except the reflection was behind him. "Turn around," the voice whispered, soft, gentle, inviting. Daniel shook his head. No. A pause. Then, "Please." The tone changed, weaker, broken, afraid. It sounded like him when he was a child, lost, alone. Daniel's chest tightened. "Don't!" The voice cracked. "I don't want to be alone again." His eyes filled with tears. "Stop! You left me!" The words hit harder than anything else. Daniel's breath caught. Behind him, another step, closer than before. Too close. "You always leave." His hand shook. "I didn't." "You did." The voice was right at his ear now. Warm, wrong. "You always choose yourself." Daniel's eyes snapped open. "No! I'm trying to survive." Silence. Then a soft laugh. His laugh, but hollow. "You call this surviving?" The room shifted again. The walls breathing, the cracks faintly visible beneath the surface. Watching, listening. The thing in the chair stood. But this time it didn't come closer. It stepped back. Into the shadows. "Now there are two," it said. Daniel felt something brush his shoulder. Light, almost gentle. Then a hand resting on him. Same size, same shape, same skin. Daniel looked down slowly. The hand matched his perfectly. Every detail, every line, every scar. His breath stopped. "See?" The voice whispered. "We're the same." Daniel yanked himself forward, breaking contact. "No, no, you're not me." A pause. Then, "Prove it." Daniel froze. "What?" The room went still, completely still. Even the clock stopped. The walls stopped breathing. Everything. Waiting. "For one of us to stay," the voice said, "and one of us to leave." Daniel's heart pounded. "That's not—" "It's the rule." The thing in the shadows smiled. "You already played this game." Daniel's mind raced. No, I don't remember that." "You wouldn't." The voice behind him stepped forward again, now standing beside him. Not touching. Just existing. Last time, it said softly, you chose wrong. Daniel turned his head slightly. Not enough to see, but enough to feel it there, watching him, waiting. So, choose again. The door behind them, unlocked. Click, slowly. It creaked open. A thin line of darkness beyond it. The hallway. Freedom, or something pretending to be it. Daniel stared at the doorway, then at the floor, then at the hand that still trembled. His own hand, or maybe not. If I leave, he whispered, what happens to you? A long silence, then the answer. I stay. The thing in the shadows added quietly. Like before. The hallway waited. The door stood open. And beside him, the second Daniel smiled. Daniel stared at the open door. The hallway beyond it was darker than before. Not empty. Watching. Waiting. Breathing. Just like the walls. He could feel it. The entire house was alive. And it was listening. Choose, the second Daniel whispered, standing beside him. Too close. Too real. Daniel clenched his fists. There has to be another way. A quiet laugh came from the shadows. The first one. The one in the chair. There never was. The clock on the wall ticked once, then stopped again. 11:59. Always 11:59. Daniel's chest rose and fell rapidly. Why me? No answer. Only silence. Then, because you came back. The second Daniel said it calmly, like it was obvious. I didn't come back. I got lost. No. The voice was firmer now. You always say that. The walls pulsed again, stronger, faster, as if something deep inside the house was getting impatient. You don't remember choosing this place, the second Daniel continued. But you did. Daniel shook his head. That doesn't make any sense. You were tired. A pause. You wanted to leave everything behind. The words hit harder than they should. Fragments flashed in Daniel's mind. A road, a long drive, no destination, just escape. His breath caught. I just wanted quiet. The second Daniel smiled softly. Yes. And it gave it to you. The hallway darkened. The open door seemed farther away now, stretching, pulling away from him. You asked for silence, the voice said, so it took everything else. The ticking returned, faster. Tick, 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 tick. And now, the thing in the shadows whispered, you belong to it. Daniel's heart raced. No, I don't belong here. Then leave. The second Daniel gestured toward the door. Simple. Easy. Too easy. Daniel stepped forward. One step. The floor shifted under his feet. Soft. Unstable. The walls tightened. The air thickened. Go on, the voice urged. Leave. Another step. The doorway stretched again. Farther. All was just out of reach. Daniel stopped. Something felt wrong. Deep inside. Not fear. Not confusion. Recognition. He turned slowly. Just enough to see the second Daniel from the corner of his eye, and for the first time, he noticed something different. The eyes. They weren't just like his. They were empty. No reflection, no depth. Just space. Like something was looking out from behind them. Not him. Never him. Daniel stepped back. You're not me. The smile didn't fade, but it changed, sharpened. You've said that already. No, Daniel whispered. This time, I mean it. Silence fell. The house seemed to hold its breath. Then, the second Daniel spoke again, but the voice was no longer his. Too late. Everything moved at once. The walls split open. The cracks returned, wider, deeper. From inside them, hands, dozens, reaching, grabbing, pulling toward the center of the room, toward him. The floor broke beneath his feet, soft like flesh, shifting, trying to swallow him. Daniel screamed and lunged forward, toward the door, but something grabbed his ankle, cold, tight. He fell hard. The second Daniel stood above him now, looking down, not smiling anymore, just waiting. "You almost remembered," it said. Almost. Daniel clawed at the floor, trying to pull himself free. "No, let go!" The grip tightened. More hands reached him, climbing, pulling. "Every time," the thing said, "you get closer." The hallway flickered. The door trembled, like it was about to disappear. "Next time," it whispered, "maybe you'll choose differently." Daniel screamed again, and everything went dark. Darkness didn't come all at once. It seeped in, slowly, like ink spreading through water. Daniel couldn't feel his body at first. No pain, no weight. Just nothing. Then a sound. Tick. Tick. The clock. Always the clock. His eyes opened. He was sitting. Wood beneath his hands. A chair. Cold. Familiar. Daniel inhaled sharply. Air filled his lungs again. Heavy. Used. Wrong. "No," he whispered. The room. Room 7. Unchanged. The bed. The table. The dim light above. And the clock. Ticking. Uneven. Alive. Daniel tried to stand. He couldn't. His body didn't respond. His arms rested on the chair. Still. Frozen. His chest tightened. "No! No! Get up! Get up!" Nothing. Panic surged through him. Then a movement. In front of him. The door. Slowly opening. Daniel's breath stopped. Someone stepped inside. Him. Another Daniel. Confused. Breathing fast. Looking around the room. Just like before. "No!" the real Daniel whispered. "Don't come in." But no sound left his mouth. The new Daniel walked forward, looking at the bed, the dent, the chair, him, but didn't react, didn't scream, didn't run. He just accepted it, like it made sense, like it always had. The new Daniel spoke. "This is fine." The exact same words, the same tone, the same lie. Something inside the seated Daniel broke. "No, it's not! It's not!" Still no voice. Only silence. The cycle was perfect, unbroken, unstoppable. The door clicked shut behind the new one. Locked. Tick, 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 tick. The clock reset. 11:59 again, always. The new Daniel turned slowly. Toward the bed. Toward the floor. Toward the moment everything begins and ends. The seated Daniel tried to move again, to scream, to warn him, anything, but his body wouldn't obey, because now he understood. He wasn't the one choosing anymore. He was the one waiting, the one watching, the one remembering, the one who stayed. Tears rolled down his motionless face. "I didn't leave," he thought. "I was left." The light flickered. The air thickened. The sound beneath the bed began again. Soft. Slow. Waiting. The new Daniel froze. "What was that?" The same question. Every time. The seated Daniel stared. Unable to blink. Unable to look away. Forced to watch. Again and again and again. Then something new happened. The seated Daniel felt it. A shift. Small. Almost nothing. But different. The new Daniel hesitated. Just for a second longer than before. His breathing changed. His eyes narrowed slightly. "This isn't right." The seated Daniel's heart, if it still worked, would have stopped. That never happens, he thought. The cycle wasn't perfect anymore. The new Daniel took a step back, away from the bed, away from the center of the room, and for the first time he looked directly at the chair, at him. Their eyes met, and something passed between them. Recognition. Real. Terrifying. "You," the new Daniel whispered. A crack appeared in the wall, louder than ever before. The house reacted, angry. The clock began ticking faster. Tick, 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 tick. The light flickered violently. The walls pulsed, hard. The seated Daniel felt it. Hope, sharp, painful, dangerous. "Remember," he begged silently. "Please, remember." The new Daniel stepped closer, slow, careful. "What is this place?" The walls screamed. Literally. A deep, inhuman sound tore through the room. The crack spread. Hands forced their way out again, faster, desperate, trying to stop something, trying to fix the loop. The seated Daniel felt his body tremble. For the first time. The grip was weakening. Just a little, just enough. The new Daniel reached out, toward him, toward the truth. And just before their fingers touched, everything went black.